So you want to get from here to here, and you believe that exercise will help you achieve this goal, but that's not quite the truth. If you want an aesthetic body, we need to focus on certain muscle groups in particular that the normal lifting coach won't tell you about. And I've managed to blow up my growth and gain a muscular body just in the last year by focusing on these important muscles. Today I'm going to be ranking all of the muscles on how aesthetic they are and how much of a difference they make to your physique. My name is Jonathan Surtees and I take young guys through the journey of skinny to thick. In this tier list, I'm going to be taking into account how much you can grow a muscle if it passes the clothing test, which means that it can be seen when you're wearing just normal clothes, and how much it contributes to the V taper, and also how much it indicates that you are strong and have a muscular body. Biceps and triceps. These are the most popular, most desired muscle that most gym goers are looking to grow. And it's for good reason. Having big arms makes a big difference to your overall physique, and is a very common sign of not only hard work and discipline, but also strength and power, as well as genetic strength too. All of these muscles will be taking these topics into consideration, but also a hugely important thing to consider is if this muscle appears in clothes. Biceps and triceps have some drawbacks here, as they are very visible in short sleeved t-shirts and vests, but they can lose visibility when wearing long sleeved t-shirts, as well as jumpers, sweaters and coats. This will slightly mark them down, so this will land in the A tier. Chest. The pecs is a huge muscle in your body, so it's only natural for it to make a big impact on your aesthetic physique. Now the mid and the lower chest contribute to that round, almost boulder look that you want to get on your chest, but it's actually the upper chest that makes the biggest impact for aesthetic differences. The upper chest is what creates that pop that you see when bodybuilders wear t-shirts. The upper chest is what creates that effect when your whole body looks bigger because the shirt is almost being draped over the upper chest. The chest is almost at the same level of aesthetics as biceps and triceps, but its sheer size and prominence, especially in clothing, puts it in a tier above. Chest is going in S tier. Neck. Take a look at this photo. Now take a look at this photo. This is the same guy, but without seeing his body at all, who do you think has more muscle? Exactly, it's the guy with a thicker neck. A thicker neck is often something that isn't trained for by the average gym goer, but for those who are looking specifically for aesthetics, it can be hugely beneficial to train. This muscle benefits greatly from the clothing test. Pretty much no matter what you wear, your neck will be visible, and as we just saw, it is a big indicator of your overall strength and size, as well as a sign of masculinity and higher testosterone. A skinny neck can be a silent killer of your physique, if it's something you've been neglecting, especially if you have a long neck. With this being said, the neck does suffer a little bit from being a muscle that you can't really train to great size, but it does benefit greatly from being in such a prominent area. So this lands the neck in A tier. Abs. This is my unpopular opinion, but abs are not the most important muscles for aesthetics. That's not me saying they're not important at all, but I think they're slightly overrated by the majority of the gym community. Abs have been looked at for centuries as the prime example of the result of discipline and hard work, making them extremely desirable and is often a desired trait amongst gym goers, as well as an attractive muscle for the female gaze. But abs ultimately fail the clothing test. In almost any top, your abs are going to be completely invisible unless it's a super tight top. And you're going to be wearing a normal fitting top unless you're a bit of a freak. In addition to this, abs works in a slightly different way than the rest of your muscles in terms of if you have a lower percentage body fat, your abs will become noticeable regardless of whether or not you train them. If you train them, they might pop a little bit more, but as long as you keep a low body fat percentage, you will have those abs. So in terms of training them, I can't put them at the very top because there's just too many things that they fail on in this regard. Abs go in the C tier. Glutes. An extremely underrated muscle for guys, as it's almost completely neglected by most male gym goers and then spammed by female gym goers to the point where it can feel like you're almost emasculating yourself by actually doing a glute exercise in the gym. But glutes are actually important on a guy too. Similar to how upper chest is an indication of how much muscle you have beneath clothing, the glutes have a similar effect. If you see a guy with no butt, for example, you're not going to think he has very well developed legs. Whereas if you see a guy with a huge butt, no homo, you're going to think that that guy has very well trained, very developed quads and hamstrings and calves. It's just natural, and that's just the way it is. And that is what makes glutes so important for aesthetics, and that's what's going to land them in the B tier. Back. The back is one of the biggest muscles on the body, and with shirt off, it is one of the most aesthetic muscles. When the traps and the lats are pumped and well developed, it's the best way to round out a physique. The lats fill out your body from the front, and your traps contribute to your neck growth and are always on show. Although if you have weak shoulders, training your traps can actually be detrimental. So for example, I already have quite wide shoulders, so my traps don't really give me that kind of rounded look. Whereas if I had really weak shoulders like this, my trap development is actually going to make my shoulders look even more rounded out. So that's one thing that actually can act as a drawback for the back aesthetic muscle. In addition to this, the back does pass the clothing test, but not to the same extent as something like the upper chest. This lands the back in the A tier. Calves. A huge muscle for functionality, and a muscle that spectacularly fails the clothing test half the time, and then exceeds the other half of the time when wearing shorts. It's a difficult muscle to judge. Calves in shorts have a similar effect to glutes. If you see someone with big calves, you're going to assume they have big legs. But calves are very, very hard to grow, as a lot of your potential muscle growth of your calves is unfortunately down to your genetics. This is why some of the world's most impressive and huge bodybuilders have completely maxed out their growth for every other muscle, and then you look down at their calves and sometimes they can be a little bit underdeveloped, and they can be the only thing on their body that is underdeveloped. So because calves are only aesthetic half the time, and because they are so hard to get gains on, for most people, calves are going in the C tier. Forearms. This is the most underrated muscle for aesthetics, and I'm currently experiencing the effects of not training this muscle. My physique at the minute is very good, but to round out my body I need to start working my forearms more, because when I look at my photos, everything is well developed, but something is missing, and it's my forearm development. Again, the forearms pass the clothing test. In short sleeves and vests where they are very prominent, and even in shirts with the sleeves rolled up, they leave a huge impression on people. That will make them believe you are powerful and strong. It suffers again from it having to take a long time and a lot of intention in order to grow this muscle, even a fraction of the amount that you will grow your biceps and your triceps. Although the sheer availability and the attention that your forearms will get in everyday life will land the forearms in the B tier. Hamstrings and quads. Legs. Hamstrings and quads are so important for building an aesthetic body, but it's true, they're not as important. For a while I skipped leg day, and you can kind of tell that in my physique, that I am top heavy. But as opposed to the other muscles that I've mentioned, doing just one session of this a week, or even one session every 2 weeks, is good enough for growing this muscle. The quads and the hamstrings don't really pass the clothing test either. Even if you're wearing shorts or if you're wearing trousers, you're not really going to be able to show them off. Nowhere near the amount that you're going to be able to show off your forearms, or even like your upper chest or something. So in that regard, that's a drawback. But the hamstring and the quads, from an aesthetic viewpoint, is more important to supplement and balance out the upper half of the body, so it needs less intensive work to achieve the look we're going for. For this, it's in the C tier. Shoulders. I'm just going to get straight into it. The shoulders are the most important muscle for aesthetics. A huge part of building the aesthetic physique is the V taper, so to be wide at the top and then thin and slim towards your waist. This is the look all bodybuilders go for, and it's the exact reason why the shoulders have such an important effect on your physique. If you have bowler shoulders, or even a very prominent side shoulder, it will change the entire shape and silhouette of your body. And it's highly important for attaining that aesthetic physique. Wide shoulders make your upper muscles look bigger, and they also provide a more prominent contrast to your waist, even making that appear smaller in comparison. Shoulders go in the S tier. Like and subscribe, people. Thank you.